Klaatu Barada Nikto. Famous line from a famous movie from a bygone era. 1951's The Day the Earth Stood Still is honestly a damn good story. And I just have to come on here to say that I think this movie deserves the praise that it got back then and is still considered a very big classic even today. I mean, the storytelling is just A1. The visuals of the film are very impressive. I'm very impressed with some of the ways they kind of played with visual effects in 1951. They made it look really believable. I mean, obviously, it looks like child's play by 2026 standards, but hell, CGI looks bad by 2007 standards. So, 2007 has better CGI than 2026 CGI. So, what can we do? But on another hand, not to get too sidetracked, this movie was awesome. I really enjoyed the main actor guy. I know the purpose for Klaatu was that he's supposed to be an alien. So what they did was they got a British guy to play Klaatu to make him different from the American actors. So that's already a pretty cool move right there. And he is a fairly tall guy. I think he's about 6'3", and he just stands out whenever you see him because he's so tall. Uh, the guy who played Gort, didn't have to do much but be in a suit, was from Philly, so it's a little side on that. And that makes me happy. I know when he was going to carry the woman at the end, or even carry Klaatu, he had to like have a thing built in so he could look like he's carrying him because he physically couldn't. I think the guy was like six, like seven something. He was a tall dude, but I happily enjoyed this movie. The Day the Earth Stood Still did something so well in such a short time, but also in such an interesting time to do it because in the film it is very much a post World War II era America, but also it is also like during the Cold War, and it did so many things. Like it didn't focus on it, but it showed you kind of what America was like after those few things, and it was cool, right? Like it was like, okay, after everything that's happened, America's a different place, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, the spaceship just kind of lands in like a field in Washington. Takes a while for Klaatu to really show himself. I think it's a cool introduction sequence. And immediately after he tries to, says he comes in peace and greetings, he tries to show them this new contraption that his people's come up with, and they shoot him right there. I mean, people would be jittery if you had the Cold War going on and you were 6 years after World War II ended. So I mean, what are you gonna do? But it is interesting to see that like America's first retaliation was to shoot him, and Klaatu still stayed peaceful the whole time because if he turned violent, he would get killed. And it's something you don't really pay attention to until the end of the movie when they shoot Klaatu. Gord immediately retaliates by destroying their guns, and then he destroys the tank. Then he destroys some other stuff. And it's like, wow, that's interesting. It's an interesting way to go about it. But you think he's violent on purpose, but he's actually not. But that's a nice little save for the ending kind of thing. And going through the whole movie, you see Klaatu, they take him into a hospital. You find out he's really smart. He can solve their stuff faster than they can because he's more advanced. Obviously, he has a spaceship that can go 4,000 miles, according to his calculation. I do love the fact that he gets to experience humans. He gets to experience humans for what they are. He gets to see the good. He gets to see the bad. And he's very much trying to help mankind the whole time. And he gets to experience like hanging out with a child, seeing what that's like, finding out the child's dad was dead, experiencing the mother, experiencing just the world itself. And he's very much giving up the not a good espionage. He's clearly giving away the fact that he's an alien when he like gives the kid, can't remember his name. I wish I could remember names. He gives the kid diamonds because that's their version of money where he's from. And back then, diamonds weren't able to be engineered in a lab yet, so it is an interesting concept at the time. I mean, now we'd be like, well, somebody made that in a lab, but back then in 1951, that wasn't thought of yet. And it's just like he's going through all the stuff. He's hearing all the prejudice things being said, like, "Oh, it's a monster," or "It's this, that, and the third. It's disgusting," and you can kind of see Klaatu kind of shift a little bit by the end, even before his big speech. But you could see him kind of looking at mankind a little bit different from when he first showed up. I mean, the first thing he did was shoot him. So, I mean, he pretty much discovered mankind's irritants to respond violently relatively fast. But it is interesting that he's experiencing Earth's aggression. I mean, mind you, this was the perfect time to do something like this. You know, post World War II, we defeated the Nazis, and then the Cold War was going on. Yeah, people were panicking. A lot of people were passed away, died from the war. It's not the same America it was before the war. But I think the best part about this movie is one. It's a very early sign of mankind's its own worst enemy, and mankind is threatening Earth. And we think that we're only threatening ourselves, but then we find out we're threatening other planets with our wars and rage and aggression. And apparently the big reveal at the end is that if mankind does continues this path of violence, they'll be destroyed by the Interplanetary Federation, which means they are literally join our peace treaty or die. Like by the end, Klaatu is fed up, and I was so hurt when I saw that he actually got killed, and Gort was able to resurrect him, but he doesn't know how long he'll be alive, which is, I guess, a good way to say that they can't just bring people back to life whenever they want. There's a time limit on it. We don't know how long, he said. Damn it. But I will say, I like the message. I just don't know how important it is because it seems like still kind of a police state, kind of a dictatorish way of like, yeah, we created these robots to kind of check our aggression so that we don't kill each other, but also we created a police state where we do have peace, but at what cost? Is it more so just like the jeopardized freedom, or is it that we genuinely wanted peace at any cost? But is it really peace if it's fear? One of those things. So it's one of those movies that left me questioning what was the real goal here, and it was to preserve peace, but is it worth it? And I think that's the cool part about that movie, and it's not forced on you. It's literally Klaatu's final words, and then he just dips off, and he ain't got no picks after that. And it's like, all right, well, it's interesting. It's funny that it's called the day the Earth stood still because like it's literally just a half an hour where he shuts off the power to the Earth and relays the message to the mom, and then everything's done. It's just interesting. It's called the day the Earth stood still, but it's really like a small half an hour. But it's not a half hour movie time, but half an hour their time. But yeah, the Cold War anxiety, global unity versus nationalism, fear of the unknown, responsibility of technological advancement. It is a very it's a very intriguing story that I think movie buffs, if you're like a big movie buff and you don't give a damn when the movie came out, then you should do it. And I'm absolutely not going to mention the 2005 film because I'm pretty sure 2005 or like 2008 is a bad film. It is terrible and it missed the entire point of the story completely. So when I first heard about the original, I said, "Well, what makes the original so great?" Because everyone really hates this Keanu Reeves thing, and I finally got to watch it this year, and it's a good film. I liked it. I don't think I'd ever be like, "Oh, I want to watch Day the Earth Stood Still again," but it was a good experience for a movie buff. So with that being said, I'm signing off. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all on the next one.